Thank you for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
Especially since you're pretty busy. You brought a big delegation. Tell us a little bit about why now and what that symbolizes as well.
Well, it's the first time that a defense minister joins a trade minister to lead such a mission. It's 300 strong, 175 organizations and companies from every sector. About 50 of those companies are in the defense sphere. So for us, this is a moment where we're continuing to build, deepen, widen our relationship with Japan, and also in the context of the Indo-Pacific, where we're making similar investments, spending the kind of time, getting Canada back in the groove, so to speak, when it comes to the Indo-Pacific.
Tell us a little bit about that. Do you feel that Canada has retreated a little bit in the past, and where do you expect to see more involvement and cooperation with partners here?
Well, typically it would be government to government, military to military, business to business, which is a big focus right now. Canada has upped its GDP spend on defense to over 2%, achieving the target a full 5 years ahead of schedule. So we're very pleased now to get the resources that we need to make these investments. So we are investing heavily in rebuilding, rearming, rebooting our Canadian armed forces. We also have a new defense industrial strategy where we're investing heavily in Canadian companies, the defense sector, and we need to do that together with good partners like Japan.
The NATO Secretary General trying to appeal to President Trump's side when it came to boosting their spending. It doesn't necessarily seem to have worked. How is your relationship with the United States, especially military to military security concerns?
Listen, we have a continental security arrangement with the United States. We manage the relationship. We have NORAD, of course, which is the only binational command in the world. It works well. It's together. But, you know, this is about now for Canada expanding in this area here into the Indo-Pacific. I've had meetings and arrangements with folks in Indonesia. The Philippine Minister of Defense was in Canada 2 weeks ago for the first time. Korea, Japan, of course. Australia just sold their over-the-horizon radar system to Canada, the largest single defense export in Australian history. So Canada is moving coherently, systematically into the region.
I mean, you are sending your warships to the Indo-Pacific for port calls to Japan, training as well, exercises. Is there a concern that that might be seen negatively by China?
It's not new. We're recalibrating our relationship with China, but we're also, as I say, we can do both at the same time. We can recalibrate. But on defense, security, and intelligence, we're also reaching out to like-minded, values-driven, rules-based countries like Japan. And so far it is taking hold. People are very receptive, welcoming Canada. But the presence of vessels in this area is not new for Canada. What does recalibrating the relationship with China mean? Well, it means we had some period of difficulty between Chinese and Canadian authorities, the two Michaels, all that year, several years ago. But we're now rebooting that relationship on different fronts, and this is exactly where we're at. But this mission is really focused on Japan, of course, because of the depth of ability, of talent, AI research, quantum, cryptography. This is something we're looking at: space, maritime domain awareness. There's a powerhouse here of talent, and this is exactly what we're looking to plug into also from a Canadian perspective, because we know if we actually combine our efforts here, we're going to do much better.
When it comes to these exercises and training in the region, we always see them very regularly. But very regularly, we also get negative reactions coming from the likes of Beijing. We have seen tensions increase in the Taiwan Strait. Now with geopolitical flashpoints like Ukraine, does that give Canada also a different sense of responsibility when it comes to different regions?
Well, it would be fair to say that things have changed. Tensions have changed. The geopolitical has changed. Canadians are realizing now that their geography won't necessarily protect them. We saw, for example, in the Middle East, Iran deploy a missile that actually traveled 5,000 kilometers, when we've been told for over 2 decades they had no such missile in their arsenal. So we understand that change. We understand the threat landscape has changed. But we're managing our way forward cautiously, thoughtfully. We're building these relationships. We're moving into the Indo-Pacific in a way we planned on doing so in 2017, 2018, the pandemic hit. And now that we have more resourcing as a result of the 2% fund, and we're well on the way to the 3.5% fund, we are in a position now to do much more.
Is it possible to equate the Taiwan risk as a Ukraine risk?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's a risk. I would say that countries here are doing a phenomenal job of managing their way through it. We've got to keep talking. Most importantly, we've got to keep the dialogue moving. But this mission here is largely now about consolidating relationships with Japanese actors in the business and the government in many spheres. So this is what we're all about here now. That's why 300 people decided to join us. It was not really difficult. But here they are. We had a major gathering last night of 500 people, including 200 Japanese executives and leaders. I met with my counterpart yesterday for a full hour, Minister Koizumi. We had a very good discussion about Canada-Japanese relations in this area. We're making progress.
I know that you also toured some frigates as well earlier this week. Are there any specific defense purchase commitments? We know that, of course, Japan has lifted most of its export restrictions when it comes to military equipment.
Look, we're looking at all kinds of options and opportunities. That's what the business folks have been doing here for the last 2.5 days. Japan is a powerhouse in certain sectors. We're a powerhouse in other sectors. This is about us procuring from Japan and Japan procuring from Canada. That's the kind of trade that we're giving rise to in our defense industrial strategy. And I know that Japan is also looking to see how they can accentuate their own. That's what the minister and I in part spoke about yesterday. So it's very encouraging. We're like-minded. We have the same values. We're rules-based. We believe in the international order. We believe in the United Nations. We believe in dispute resolution. That's why we're pleased to be here.
When it comes to really cooperation between smaller nations, we have seen the global combat air program as well between Japan, Italy, and the UK as well. How does Canada view such partnerships?
Well, we view these opportunities to come together and pool resources and research and capacity as a positive thing. Many smaller countries, I would hardly classify Japan as a small country, it's an economic powerhouse. Our countries can come together, take our best, our brightest, combine our efforts, and do well. We can do well, obviously, for our people, and we can do well in terms of our industrial sectors.
Would Canada be considering perhaps joining that initiative?
Canada's manifested an interest. Canada is monitoring it closely. It's very interesting to see how it's going forward. But right now, we're so busy executing on this Indo-Pacific strategy. We're continuing to stay in touch with our folks. I think we'll talk more about it when we get to the Leaders Summit in NATO. I'm looking forward to seeing my counterparts, as many of those who might be able to come from Italy, Japan, and of course from the UK.
And of course, Iran, the ongoing negotiations will be a key theme there. How confident are you that we'll get an interim deal to be a permanent one?
Always remain hopeful. There's no other way to be, in my view. We have to remain hopeful. Peace is the best outcome. The alternative is never a positive one. So I think that if we can help guide along both parties in the negotiations, encourage it, that's a good thing. But we remain available to be of assistance in the multinational maritime mission that is being headed up by the Brits and the French. Canada has offered up its own capacity, vessels, demining, cyber, intelligence. We'll see how that all comes together.
Before I let you go, we just saw Prime Minister Carney releasing a statement in terms of a potential multilateral security defense bank. What do you think of that mechanism functioning as a World Bank? And is there any traction if this initiative were to be pushed forward?
We think this is a phenomenal opportunity for all of our countries, because the Defense and Security Resilience Bank, the DSRB, modeled after the World Bank in structure, would actually provide a lot of capital and a lot of assistance to small and medium-sized enterprises right here in Japan, back in Canada, in the Philippines, all over the world. Any member state would be able to plug and play in the system, be able to borrow, be able to capitalize. We need more investment in the defense sector. This is what this is intending to address.
Did you discuss this potential bank with Japan while here, and what reaction did you get?
Yes, we have. We've raised it on several occasions. I think the government here is considering it, as are other countries. But right now, we're in the process of moving it along with other jurisdictions to see if we can get more interest.
The Canadian Defense Minister here in the Tokyo studio. Thank you so much for making the time. He's David McKinty.